And as a build-up to Prime Minister's address there, I'm going to quickly go across live to my colleague Arun Sharma, who is joining us live on this broadcast. Arun, over to you. Very briefly, significance of the address that the nation is awaiting right now. Most importantly, the deliverables that we are looking at. And why is this so important when we talk about to health sector, etc.?
Well, Sakal, good evening. And not only cementing ties, also navigating challenges as far as this US ISPF forum is concerned. Now, world's largest democracy and world's oldest democracy will again be coming together via this platform of US ISPF. And of course, the focus will be on navigating the challenges as far as this COVID crisis or during the COVID crisis is concerned. And Sakal, this is not for the first time that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is addressing this international event or summit during the COVID times. Yes. Earlier, we have seen that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has addressed the UN ECOSOC, that means the United Nations Economic and Social Council. Prime Minister also addressed the India Global Week. Prime Minister addressed the Speak Mackay International Convention. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while addressing on all these international platforms, has ensured that India's growth story can be projected on the global arena. So that's the big point we can expect it today as well when Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses this summit and event of US ISPF. Now, I'm looking at the 5 big takeaways that everybody is focusing upon, and everybody will be, having keenly watching Prime Minister's address. Number 1 will be a multilateral approach of India. Now, we know this fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi always focuses upon Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. So how can there be a multilateral approach during the COVID pandemic time? That will be the prime focus on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi can speak on that aspect as well, that away from the plurilateral approach and how do we adopt the multilateral approach so that developing countries and developed countries come together to fight against this COVID crisis. Second important big takeaway that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, or primarily Prime Minister Narendra Modi, can focus upon, that's on reforms in the international institutions like World Trade Organization, WTO, of course the United Nations reforms, reforms in WHO, reforms in various international institutions, that also includes International Monetary Fund or IMF. So how can reforms take place? Because Prime Minister Narendra Modi has again and again reiterated this fact that in this new world order, the focus of the international community should be on reforming the international institutions, including United Nations. Third important big takeaway would be on reforms that has taken place in India. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will, of course, be highlighting the India's growth story. Recently, we have seen, Sakal, that India's innovation index, now India's inching in top 50 as far as innovation index is concerned. Now, this will, of course, contribute in the world capacities as well.
Well, you know the last 2 points that you spoke about, Prime Minister, to talk about the reforms in the international institutions plus what we have done so far on the domestic front, and most importantly, that's a major first when India yesterday broke into the top 50. Now, India's journey from being looked up as the pharmaceutical capital of the world to innovative capital of the world, and we've been really laying a lot of emphasis on innovation, whether it is digital innovation or innovation in other sectors as well. Do you think in today's address is also going to be part of the discourse?
Absolutely, Sakal. Now, that will be the central theme as far as innovation is concerned. That is likely to be a central theme when Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses. Remember this fact, Sakal, that in all the international forums where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is addressed during this COVID time, he has ensured that India growth story, along with Atmanirbhar Bharat,
absolutely,
can be placed on the global arena, and that's what we have seen Prime Minister Narendra Modi doing. Look at this way, Sakal, that India is a hub of pharmaceutical. 60% of pharma output globally is produced in India. So no matter which country is coming out with vaccine, we know this fact. Various countries are in various phases of vaccine, and vaccine trials are going on. No matter which country comes out with vaccine, but if in case of mass production, if it has to be done, India has to be taken on board as far as mass production is concerned, of these vaccines are concerned. So India can play an important role as far as, these vaccines are concerned, number 1. Now, earlier also, India has played a critical and significant role as far as, helping out to its neighbors and, of course, the world as well, as far as supplying the medical equipments, the health services to other countries as well, which also includes providing hydroxychloroquine to more than 100 countries. And as far as innovation is concerned, India is gradually innovating. Look at this way, Sakal, that India has now initiated initiated various other initiatives like Atmanirbhar Bharat App Innovation Challenge. We have our own various Atmanirbhar Bharat app and mobile applications, which gives a sense that now
Okay,
India
so we are also looking at convergences and collaborations in the Atmanirbhar Bharat innovation space. But before that very important point that you flagged there, Arun, India, the way India under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi have managed to keep or stay much ahead of the curve. Not only flattening the curve, but at the very outset of the pandemic, from one lab to a large infrastructure, capacity building, testing capabilities. Do you think that's also that is also something which will be talked about? The testing capabilities of India.
That's the biggest point that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be talking about, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also talked on the fact that how can best practices can be shared globally so that everybody can learn from the best practices that are going on as of now. Now, as far as India's achievement is concerned, now look at this way, Sakal. I mean, more than 77% of recovery rate that India is witnessing. When we talk about the global COVID situation, the recovery rate that India is witnessing, it is far better than other developing and developed countries as far as COVID is concerned. India on one side is ensuring that the PPE kits, the ventilators, and of course various other health equipments and medical aids and devices can be provided to people of India, to our country as well. So on the other side, it is also ensuring that how can we build global capacities, how can we build global infrastructure as far as this world where the world is fighting against COVID-19. So how can we build global capacities as far as this entire pandemic situation is concerned? Also important part, Sakal, that we should not forget this fact that India is leading its way as far as Atmanirbhar Bharat, whereby India is not talking about protectionist approach. India is not talking about cutting away from this entire world, whereby we under the Atmanirbhar Bharat, India is focusing upon.
Hello, I'm John Chambers, and I have the opportunity to introduce one of the greatest leaders in the world today, in Prime Minister Modi. Over 35 years of leadership and high technology, I've had the chance to meet almost every